Hi everyone, you are very welcome to the next in our series of our live broadcasts, all about the hottest and topics and trends in TEFL. And today I am so excited to be joined by Teacher Kid Canada, one of our favourite leading people in the space of how to become freelance, independent and high paid. So today we're going to spend about 15 minutes talking about how do you actually become freelance and independent, and who can do it, and what are the steps to get there. So in our series of live broadcasts, you'll see that we have been talking about the recent policy change out of China, where we've seen a reduction and a ban on people who are private tutoring in China, and that's really shaken up the market. So there's a lot of people wondering, is it a good time to get TEFL qualified? Are there still jobs out there in the market? And so that's what these sessions are all about. It's about talking about what's happening right now, and I'm so excited to have somebody who I class as a real expert now in Teacher Kid Canada. So everybody who's joining, you're very welcome, and thanks for moving on over from
Hey
Facebook.
guys.
It's actually nice in here because guys,
Hey everybody. How you doing? Thanks for having me,
we'll give you
Rosie.
we'll get
Yeah.
give everybody a chance then to unmute themselves and to ask questions and things. We also have the chat box here, so it's great. And it's a little bit, it's maybe even more informal than doing our Facebook broadcast. Okay, so we are we are recording this. What is?
So you expand all around her. You definitely get to this house. So should we take a look inside? Probably mute them.
Yeah,
Mute the audience.
yeah, I'm doing that now. Okay, so let's get started.
Okay,
Teacher
perfect.
Kanda. So I've given a little bit of an intro as to why we're having these conversations. We're having them because it's really important to talk about what's happening in the industry, and also to shine a light for people who want to know what it's like to get into the industry now and what opportunities are there for them. So the first thing I want to ask you is if you'll tell us a little bit of a synopsis of how you got into the world of teaching English, but more importantly, how you took the path to going freelance and independent.
Sure, and thanks for having me, Rosie. It's nice to see you again. The first time I talked with you guys was with Jacob. Well, it all started for me back in around 2010 when I went to China, and I wanted to teach, of course, in China. And one of my friends lived in Huangdao, so I wanted to be closer to him. We're actually going to open a fitness gym while I did that. And I retired from my fitness training career, and I really enjoyed that, but it was a long run, and I did quite well in terms of SEO on Google, so that really helped my prospecting. I had a great time, but I kind of retired on top. When I started my own business, kidcantalk.com, as I worked for a friend of mine in Qingdao teaching her teachers, and then I got into teaching with data and Go-Go Kid as I continued to build my business to the point where it started to take off well enough. So I really believe in building your business at the same time you work for a company, even looking for work. Because it really helps to keep you motivated knowing that you're building something of your own as you're basically, living inside somebody else's dream.
Absolutely. And I think that that is a really important nugget for people to take away because, and this is what I want to move on to next, and it's that fear of stepping out on your own. And I think that that tip of advising people that you build up your own personal brand, you build up your own business in conjunction with why you're working for an established online platform or a school so that you don't have to make that leap all in one go. I think that's such an important tip for people. So in terms of my next question, right, traditionally we think and we hear about people getting TEFL certified, they get their paperwork or their certification, and then they go work for a school or an online platform, is what most people have been teaching for in the last 18 months. What would you say to people who are sitting here today watching this and they're thinking, I have never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I've never had a desire to start my own business, but they understand the fact that there's more money to be made in teaching English if you do work independently. Can
Mhm.
anyone go freelance, or is it only a
Uh,
certain amount of people?
not everyone. No, no. I do a lot of these go solo or bust web conferences now. I give away half an hour of my time where I get to know people, and I'm pretty quick to know whether somebody really has it in them or not. You need to be motivated. That's really important. You need to be driven. You need to have lots of reasons to build your own business, such as you need more fulfillment, you need to earn more money per hour. It's something you really want to do for your soul to be more secure, right? And what I find with most teachers is they're great at servicing and sales. They know how to sell trials. But when it comes to online marketing, seems to be a common denominator among online teachers. They need help with online marketing. So all they need to do is buy that weakness, continue to sell their strengths, but just develop some more know-how on that topic and put some time into it. Put the maximum amount of spare time into building the business. And I think anybody can get better at online marketing. And if they already have a good presence and they're good at servicing and they know how to sell well enough during trials, I think everybody stands a really good chance if they have a great idea and they actually implement the plan to get it all set up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, you're hitting on some really key points that I would also resonate with. Is that I think we have to be honest and say going solo isn't for everyone. You do have to have that inner fire in your belly, and you have to have that desire to progress and to really make something your own. And it's okay if going solo isn't for you. But what we know is that we know that going solo leads to very, very high paid opportunities, and developing your niche. And the next point I think that is really important is that you might come to this and not be great at marketing, because if we think of all aspects of the business, we're thinking about, okay, the service is the teaching English, and you can get your certificate for that. And then if you're starting a company, or even if it's a self-employed person, you still need to know a bit about finance. You need to know how to price things to make it effective and profitable for yourself. And then one of the things where people really fall down is the marketing. It is because I think that not only do you need to have this creative side to be able to identify what makes you different from everybody else, you then also need to have this mind that is relentless to say, okay, what are we going to do next with the messaging? What's our next campaign going to look like? And you did mention SEO, I think, which would be a scary term for anybody who has even heard of it before. Search engine optimization, and that's all about getting yourself found in Google. So when somebody opens Google and they type in English lessons for IELTS exams, or they teach in accent neutralization, you want to be found. And that's tricky. That's something that you do have to learn, but it's like anything in life that if you have the interest, then you're simply learning a new process, and give it time that it deserves, and then you will get there for sure.
Yeah, sure. And SEO was more important in my view years ago when it was far easier to get indexed high within the organic listings of Google. Some that are semi-popular and not as competitive as they could be was a lot easier back in 2003 and 2004 than it is now.
Mm.
So I encourage my coaching proteges to focus more on social media marketing. That's really the ticket nowadays.
For sure, I could see how that would work, because it's so easy to define your targeting and get your ads in front of a lot of people for very little money. In terms of the social media marketing, there's a lot of tips and tutorials on YouTube and lots of other video platforms. So even a real rookie at marketing could find out how to do quite a compelling ad and get that live in just a few hours.
Sure, and you need an audience too. So part of the trick is requesting connections, for instance, on LinkedIn, following on Twitter and Instagram, and if intriguing posts, so they actually want to click through to your website, which is normally the landing page, the front page, the entrance of your sales funnel. So you need the audience, like your Premier TEFL, a great TEFL organization certification. You have an audience, but without that audience, there's nobody to bring into your sales funnel, right? So you need an audience, but that's fine. As you develop that, you're fine tuning your sales funnel, which is that's what people have to go through in order to go from being a prospect to a customer. Yeah, it takes a little time, but the great thing about this business, it doesn't cost a lot of money to build like a lot of other types of businesses, right?
So true, so true. So if you were to break it down in a nutshell for people, what would be your real sort of bullet point 3, 4, or 5 steps to breaking free from working for other people to becoming freelance, independent, and high paid? Just give us like the top level so that people can kind of picture it in their mind.
Got it. Well, number one, recognize your strengths and, of course, your weaknesses as well. And, you could put that on a whiteboard in your home, for instance. This is what I'm already great at. This is what I need work on. So, isolate that. And then from there, you have to remind yourself daily through affirmation why you're doing this. What is your reason? Because you're going to have days when you're tired. It's going to be hard to find the time. My reason is I want to be more fulfilled. I want to feel more secure in terms of my income that I'm able to bring in, which of course comes through the career. And I want to make double, triple the amount of money per hour, $40 an hour through one-on-one classes. So that's number one. Daily affirmations to help keep you going, because sometimes you can't rely on anybody to do that for you or a coach. Number two, get very, very clear on who your target audience should be. It's not enough to say, hey, I'm going to target people online who are interested in learning business English. Instead, you have to get more narrow in terms of your approach. You need to get more specific. Like, I'm going to go for people who want to prepare successfully for their IELTS or their CELTA. I want to go for teenagers preparing for their CELTA, or perhaps adults. What about people who are getting ready for job interviews in specific industries? So be specific in terms of who you're targeting, and look down the line and ask yourself, hey, do I believe that by targeting this type of person, these types of people, I'm actually going to be able to make some sales, okay? So know who you're targeting, do a little research, do some keyword research on the world's most popular search engine, Google. There's different ways you could do target research. Ask yourself if this is going to be something you're going to want to teach year after year as well. That's really important, right? And then the third thing that I would focus on is get resourceful. If your weakness is online marketing, like it is for a lot of online teachers, well then get a coach, get a course that's coming from a solid, credible source. You can get the information for free on the internet too. It just takes a little time to grab from here and there, and then you have to put it in the right order. You have to put together the actual sales funnel. I would say number 4 is putting together the sales funnel and also starting to build a social media following that consists of your target audience members, and completing post after post and categorizing them and getting into the habit of posting to these people, bringing them to that new sales funnel where they can see your promo video, they can book a demo, paid or free, go from there to the next page. You do the demo in your online classroom of choice, and then they go through and they order through your payment system within your website. You own the show. You're not relying on a third party to do all the work for you and paying some, extraordinary monthly fee for the lifetime of your business. So I would say those are the main 4 points. Once again, daily affirmations, remind yourself why you're doing it. Number 2 would be target audience, know exactly who that is online, okay? Number 3 is starting to put it all together, get resourceful, get any information you need to turn those weaknesses into strengths, or as close as you can get to being as strong as you're already, the things you're already strong at, and then just gluing it all together, getting that plan into action, getting the sales funnel up and the social media going and promoting to that social media.
Great. And you touched on my next question already, actually. I was going to ask how important it is to discover and develop your niche, but you've said it already that it's so important to really narrow down who it is that you're going to target. And I think from my experience and some of the advice that I would give to people is I would say look back at your previous career or your current career, and I would actually say, what do you know already that other people need to know? So maybe you have, and we have lots of examples in Premier TEFL of people who were in the legal field, and they now teach very high paid lessons for people who are learning English for international business. And they are going to work, they're going to work in the field of law, and they need to know the lingo. And this is it. So if you've come from a culinary background, or if you've come from a hospitality background, or if you've come from something like it could be engineering and law, or even medical, but you can use what you know already from what you've previously studied and flip that into a niche by discovering who around the world needs to know that. So you really need to kind of go, what nationality of people, what age of people, and what are they preparing to do with the English I can teach them? And that's a real good tip for helping people discover what their focus should be.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. That's all about leveraging, really, using your past experience and skill to help you to build this business, right? It's like what I did. I got really good at SEO, and I had like 9 organic listings where I was number 1 to number 3 for about September 2003 to the beginning of 2010. That brought all my prospects pretty much way better than pay-per-click on AdWords. I got nothing through that. I got nothing through Yahoo. It was all Google, organic high rankings. But the SEO didn't help me as much as this, but I learned how to write great copy through my coach, Dan Locke, back in 2004. And I had to pay $750 for a 45-minute phone call. I had 3 and unlimited email consulting for a month and a half. Was it worth it? Yeah, because I got inside his mind and I thought more like him. So when putting together this business, after my ebook online, selling that, this was more of a piece of cake. I just had to learn about WordPress and become really clever at that. And lo and behold, now I'm helping people with that to make their life longer. So it's funny how life works. You never know, how the past is going to help you in the present. And what you said is gold. Yeah, that's a great way. Oh, wow, I did that before. Well, hey, I can teach English in that regard. Yeah,
absolutely. And you run one of, in my opinion, one of the best and largest support groups for teachers who want to do this. So just share a little bit about that. How can people find you online? How can they start getting involved with your support network? And then if they decide that they want a coach to help them go independent, tell us more about how people can engage with you and start getting on your wavelength and getting inside your head.
Sure. Well, I'm sure there's a bunch of groups out there now that help teachers to go solo with information and support. I'm sure you're going to have a link to my group somewhere within this post.
Sure will.
Online teachers, independent, fulfilled, and highly paid. We're getting easier to be found on Facebook now through Facebook search, and I'm getting people that say they're coming through friends, and actually Premier TEFL as well has brought quite a few, and WhatsApp group and Reddit is bringing people in. So that's great because it's working, there's a lot of good information. People can search through the group for specific topics. I think it's all there now. Social media marketing, setting up a sales letter, we cover courses, how to put together a course. Everything on the topic of going solo is in there. I would recommend people to join my group, of course, because it's very focused. It's very specialized. We don't get into affiliate links to like online schools. We don't mess with the mission. We're basically keeping it glued on the mission, helping teachers to go independent. And I'm not Hitler, but I'm pretty sticky on the posts that I allow in the group, and I want it to always be on topic. So I'm in there every day, making sure it stays clean. I don't desert it. We do have a lot of people posting popular questions such as, how do I get leads? How do I get students? Who do you recommend that I get curriculum from? All these popular questions, and all the answers are in there now. If you can't find an answer, if that happens, there's other groups, and you can do Google searching, but definitely join some good groups on the topic of going solo and start to get your head into it, start to get more interested in getting the right answers, and treat it like a project, not just, I got to get it done in 1 month. It doesn't really work like that. Just treat it like a fun, loving project, something of your own that you're building, that you will have so much power over versus just working for a company and making money, even though you love your students. I know how it is. Yeah.
Excellent.
In terms of, in terms of the course that I have a course, it's 5+ hours. I also have a coaching service, but I like people to come into the group first. And then from there, it's easy to find my squeeze page where you can get previews for my course for free, and you can get a Go Solo or Bust web conference for free where I can meet with you and I can get into your head and see where you're at and answer some questions, and we can go from there if we see eye to eye. So I keep it pretty relaxed and flexible, not high pressure. It's like that. That's what I believe in, and that's the way I've always kind of run a business.
Excellent. So look, I think we might open the floor for a few questions.
Great.
Before we're out of time, and just to say thanks for joining us off of Facebook. It's wonderful that you've come on in, and so go ahead, feel free guys to unmute yourself and ask any questions. We have like the next 4 minutes or so that we can take questions, and then we'll have to release Teacher Kid Canada back for his evening.
My dinner. Yeah. Hi, Malini. Portia's there. Hey, client of mine. Okay. All right.
Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to ask any questions, make any comments.
Hi guys. I have to go to a class now, but I enjoyed the responses from Rich. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good class.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay. Right. So unless Portia has any questions, we will wrap it up there. As always, it is a complete pleasure to have you chat to us, Teacher Kid Canada, and I hope that we will be able to see you again soon. We will post this video on Facebook and we'll share it to all of our newsletter subscribers, and we'll also make sure that the link into your group is there. Give us the name of it again for anybody who's searching for it on Facebook.
Sure, it's Online Teachers, Independent, Fulfilled, and Highly Paid. And guys, if you have, I'm sure there's going to be questions after because most people watch the pre-recorded video. Feel free to ask your questions. I'll come back around when I have time and I'll answer them for you, okay? In my group as well, but also within your post in your Premier TEFL group and wherever. All right.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time this evening. Take care, and we will see you.
Nice to see you, Rosie. Thanks for having me, and thanks for watching, guys.
Absolutely loved it. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.